Am I audible, girls? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's start with today's topic. Why only 16 girls are there? Where are other girls?
Ma'am, they're joining.
Okay. Are they in some other lectures? So let's start. In previous lecture, we have discussed about the different acts. Uh, Especially two acts we had discussed. Uh, One was the Air Act and second one was the Water Act. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about next act, and that is the Forest Act and the Wildlife Protection Act. uh, just a minute, let me share the screen. Is it visible, girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So the next important act uh, is the Wildlife Protection Act. The Wildlife Protection Act, it is passed in 1972, which deals with the declaration uh, of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries and their notifications. And it establishes the structure of the state's wildlife management and the post designated for wildlife management. It provides for setting up wildlife advisory board. It prohibits hunting of all animals specified in different schedules like
In
first to fourth of this act, and these are notified in order of their endangeredness. Means we know that there are different types of animals which are on the way of extinction. To them we call as the endangered animals. So this act also prohibits the hunting of such animals, right, which are on their endangeredness. And plants that are protected are also included. Not on this Wildlife Protection Act means not only the animal of the wild, we can say the life, or only not only the animal but also plants. It also protects the plant which are present in the forest. The amendment of the Wildlife Protection Act in 2002 is more stringent and prevents the commercial use of resources by the local people. We know that many local people or the tribal people, they are dependent on the forest resources for their daily life. So the different resources which these peoples, the local people, they are using from the forest, it is also restricted. Means some types of wood, we can say the forest wood, or some types of precious wood which is present in the forest, it is um, not supposed to be used by the local people. It has brought in new concepts such as the creation of community reserves. It has also altered the several definition. For examples, in the when we are saying ki Wildlife Protection Act means it protects the animals. But here we can say the animals, again the fish, they are also included in the animal. But generally fishing, it is done for the generally in many areas the main food is fish. The people who are staying there, their main food is fish. So in some areas some species of fishes, they are also on the way of extinction, or we can call them as the endangered species. So these type of some fishes, they are now also included in the this protection act. Means if we are saying if we are going to protect all the fishes, then what about the people who are those who are having fish as their main food? So it is not like that. So some species according to their endangeredness, they have also included in the protection. So forest produced has been redefined to ensure the protection of ecosystem. While there are several changes in a new act, still has serious issues concerned with the implementation. That is the main issue. Laws are only, we know that it is only as good as the ones that can be complied with. The act is expected to deter people from breaking the law. However, there are serious problems due to poaching. The main issue related with the wildlife, it is the poaching, and one cannot expect to use the act to reduce this without increasing the forest top. So if you want to implement this act successfully, if you want this act to be a successful act, so for that we need to increase our forest staff, and not only the forest staff, but we have to provide them with the weapons, different types of instruments, and different types of facilities such as jeeps, then a radio equipment. Nowadays GPS tracking system is there. For everything, it is required for the establishment of a strong and deterrent force. Okay, so according to this act, there are different penalties. If the person it is breaking these laws, then different penalties are there. We'll see what are the penalties. Suppose a person who breaks any of the condition of any license or permit granted under this act shall be guilty of an offense against this act, and the offense will be registered against that person. And the offense, it is what type of offense? It is punishable with imprisonment for the term which may extend to 3 years, or with a fine of 25,000, or with both according to the seriousness of that offense. It may be of 3 years, or maybe fine of 25,000, or maybe both. An offense committed in relation to any animal specified in schedule 1 or a part of 2 of schedule 2, like the use of meat of any such animal or animal articles like trophy, shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term not less than 1 year, and may extend to 6 years, and a fine of rupees 25,000. So these are the different penalties for the guilty person. In case of a second or subsequent offense of the same nature mentioned in this subsection, the term of imprisonment may extend to 6 years and not less than 2 years, with a penalty of 10,000 rupees. So these are the penalties for the wildlife from which are there under the Wildlife Protection Act. Now, this is the law, but this law, if you want this law to be a successful law, at an individual level, we also have some responsibilities. What can an individual do, right? Am I audible, girls? If there are some issues, please let me know. Am I audible to you, right? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, thank you. So at an individual level, an individual, if you observe an act of poaching or see a poached animal, inform the local forest department officials at the highest possible level. We cannot neglect all these things which are happening in our surrounding. So we have to be very sensible and we have to be a very responsible citizen. If we want all these act to be a successful, and if we really want to do something for our environment, something for our mother earth, so we have to play a role in different field, in the preservation of resources, in the controlling of air pollution, water pollution, in this wildlife, in forest, everything, everywhere we have to perform a role. So one can also report the event through the press, through the media, follow up to check that action is taken by the concerned authority. If no action is taken, one must take it up to the chief wildlife warden of the state. Say no to the use of wildlife products, and also try to convince other people not to buy them. The product which are wildlife based product, do not buy such types of product, and even you can convince other people, do not buy them. Reduce the use of wood and wood product wherever possible. Avoid misuse of paper because it is made up from bamboo or wood. Means what is the base of paper? It is coming from the forest, which destroys the wildlife habitat. So paper that we are using, different types of envelope, it can be reused. And create a pressure group and ask government to ensure that the biodiversity of the country is conserved. Then do not harm animals. Stop others from inflicting cruelty to animals. Do not disturb the birds' nest and the habitats. When you visit zoo, so many times when we visit a zoo, either we tease the animals or by throwing the stones, or sometimes many people they throw different types of food items towards them. So whenever you are visiting any zoo, never tease the animals by throwing stones or feeding them, and prevent others. If someone is doing so, you can prevent them from doing these things. If you come across an injured animal, do what you can to help it. Whatever, now see, if we are living in a cities, means we are not going to come across any animals such as a deer or lion or tiger or any wild animal, right? But we may come across any other animal like cat, dog, any cow, right? So if you are coming across any injured animal, do not you can do what, you can ask for the help, or even you can inform the NGOs which are working for the animal welfare, right? So do what you can to help them. So if the animal needs medical care and expert attention, contact the Society of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in your city. That you can do. Create awareness about the biodiversity conservation in your own way to family and friends. Join different organizations which are concerned with the protection of biodiversity, such as Worldwide Fund for Nature, Worldwide Fund for Nature India, then BNHS, that is Bombay Natural History Society, or any local conservation or different NGOs you can join. Okay, so this is about the Wildlife Protection Act. The next one, it is the Forest Conservation Act. Now here the Forest Conservation Act means, when we are talking about the conservation of forest, under that most of the abiotic things are there. See, wildlife, what is the difference, basic difference between Wildlife Protection Act and Forest Conservation Act? In Wildlife Protection Act, basically we are protecting the life, it may be of plant or animals. But in Forest Conservation Act, we are conserving the abiotic factors, right? So here the Forest Conservation Act, to appreciate the importance of the Forest Conservation Act in 1918, which was amended in 1988, it is essential to understand its historical background. The Indian Forest Act, which was basically established in 1927, consolidated all the previous laws regarding the forest that were passed before the 1920s. and the act gave the government and the forest department the power to create a reserve forest. This act gives the power to government and the forest department to create a different reserve forest, and also it also gives right to use the reserve forest for government use alone. Right, means this forest area, it can be used only for the government activities, or we can say only for the government purpose. It also created the protected forest in which the use of resources by local people was controlled. Although these forest it get converted into protected areas, that is PAs, and where the activity or the use of resources by the local people, it is also controlled and it is restricted. Some forests were also to be controlled by a village community, and these were called village forests. There are many forests in India which are generally controlled by the village community. The people, they control that forest, means they also preserve that forest and they also develop that forest. So these types of forest they called as village forest. According to this act, the act remained in force till 1980s, when it was realized that protecting forest for timber production alone was not acceptable. Means very in the beginning, this Forest Protection Act, it was just protecting the timber from the forest, but gradually government realized that this is not enough to protect only the timber. So the other values of the forest, of protecting the services of that forest provide, and its valuable assets such as biodiversity began to overshadow the importance of their revenue earning from the timber. And thus a new act was essential. So for that the new act was essential, and this lead to the Forest Conservation Act of 1980s. Almost after 60 years from the Forest Conservation Act, the Forest Conservation Act again uh, there was a new act, that is the Forest Conservation Act of 1980s, and its amendment in 1988. India's first forest policy was uh, applicable in 1988, and in between 1952 and 1988, the extent of deforestation was so great that it became evident that there was a need to formulate a new policy on forests and their utilization. In between these years, means 1952 to 1988, almost 30 years, 30 40 years, it realized that the rate of deforestation was too much during these years, and uh, according to that, it was considered कि there is a need that this law it should be with the policies on the forest and their utilization. The large tracts of the forest land had already been diverted to the other uses, and the earlier forest, we know many forests, it is either it may get converted into the industrial area, or maybe it सपोज पुणे नियर बाय अगर कोई फॉरेस्ट है तो ग्रेजुअली इट इज द पुणे सिटी इट इज स्प्रेडिंग एंड द civilization it is spreading towards the forest. So the forest land it get diverted to other uses. The earlier forest policies had focused attention on revenue generation only, the previous one, but after that it became clear that forest must be protected for their other functions, not only the revenue generation. Such means other functions, means which functions, such as maintenance of the soil and water regimes center around the ecological concern. It also provided for the use of goods and services of the forest for the local inhabitants. And in 1992, the 73rd and 74th Amendment to the Constitution further governance through the panchayats, means it gives states the ability to provide power to the local panchayat. Means the states, they are having ability and they can provide power to the local panchayat, means the local area, to manage the local forest uh, at their level, at the local level, to maintain the forest and different types of forest resources. The Forest Conservation Act of 1980 was enacted to control the deforestation. It also ensured that forest land could not be de-reserved without prior approval of the central government. If it is reserved, then it cannot be de-reserved without the prior approval of the central government. This was created as a state had begun to de-reserve the reserve forest for non-forest use. States had regularized encroachment and resettled project affected people from development projects such as dams in these reserved areas. The need for a new legislation became urgent, and the act made it possible to retain a greater control over the frightening level of deforestation in the country and specified penalties for offenders. Deforestation, to control the deforestation, it was very necessary to have a strong law and specified penalties for the offenders. Now, what are the penalties for this Forest Conservation Act? We'll see. There are penalties for offences in reserve forest, and there are penalties for the offences in protected forest also. So we'll see what are the penalties for reserve forest. No person is allowed to make clearing or set fire to a reserve forest. Cattle are not permitted to trespass into the reserve forest. Reserve forest, it is totally reserved, means no human activity, no, we can say domestic animals, they are not allowed to enter in this reserve forest. Felling, collecting of timber, bark or leaves, quarries or collecting any forest product is punishable with imprisonment for a term of 6 months or with fine which may extend up to 500 or both. Right, means suppose if someone collecting a little bit leaves or some types of barks or something, if they are taking it out from the reserve forest, then it can be a offense, and which may lead to the imprisonment of 6 months and fine or maybe both. Then penalties for offenses in the protected forest. A person who commits any of the following offense, like felling of the trees or strips of the bark or leaves from any tree, or set fire to such forest, or kindles a fire without taking precautions to prevent this spreading to any tree mentioned in the act, whether standing or felled, or fells any tree, drags timber, or permits cattle to damage any tree, shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months or with a fine which may extend to 500 or both. So these are the penalties of the penalties which are there under the Forest Conservation Act. Now, what can be the role of individual to support this act? What can an individual do to support this Forest Conservation Act? So, very first is be alert to destructive activities in your local green areas. So, wherever you are finding any destructive activities in your nearby forest, and protected areas, at that time you have to report such act to a forest department as well as to the press. Report of violations can be made to the conservator of the forest, district forest officer, range forest officer, then forest guard or district commissioner or a local civic body. These are the officials to whom you can report such activity or such violations. Then acquaint yourself with the laws, detailed rules and orders issued by the government. Be aware of all these things, different types of orders, different types of laws, and which different types of GRs which are issued by the government. Be in touch with concerned local NGOs and associations. Organize one with other like minded people if none exist in your area. Then create awareness about the existence and value of national parks and sanctuaries, and build up a public opinion against illegal activities in the forest or disturbance to wildlife. Then pressurize the authorities to implement the forest and wildlife laws and rules to protect green areas. We can pressurize if that forest people or the authorities, if they are not implementing this law properly, we can pressurize them to implement this law, strictly implement this law. Then take legal action if necessary, and if possible through a public interest litigation. You can file the PIL against the offending party. Use the help of NGOs who can undertake the legal action. Help to create a public pressure to change the rules, laws, and procedures whenever necessary. Then use better ecologically sensitive public transport and bicycle tracks. That is almost the role of the individual in every situation. Ecologically sensitive public transport we can use, which is less polluting, or either we can use the bicycle tracks. Do not litter in the forest area. Participate in preservation of greenery by planting, watering, and caring for plants. So these are the roles of individuals in the protection, in the wildlife, in the Forest Conservation Act. Now there are some issues which are involved in the enforcement of this environmental legislation. We'll see one by one. Some issues involved in the enforcement of environmental legislation. So environmental legislation is involved to protect your environment as a whole, our health and the earth's resources. The presence of a legislation to protect air, water, soil does not necessarily mean that the problem is addressed. Once the legislation is made at a global, national, or state level, it has to be implemented, right? If the someone or government, if it is making a law, so this law it should get implemented. And for a successful environmental legislation to be implemented, there has to be an effective agency to collect relevant data, relevant data, then process it and pass it on to the law enforcement agency. Means if we want to implement this law successfully, so for that we need an agency which is working for the collection of data. If some people they are not following the rule, if they are breaking the rule, so we have some agency which can collect that data, which can process that data, and which can pass that data to the law enforcement agency, and that law enforcement agency they can take the action against these people who are breaking the law. So if the law or rule is broken by the individual or institution, this has to be punished through a legal process. Information to law enforcement officials must also come from concerned individuals. And in most situations, if no cognizance is given, the interested concerned individual must file a PIL, that is public interest litigation, for the protection of the environment. If you are complaining for a particular activity, and any government official, or if any one, if they are not taking concern, or they are not providing you any attention, in that case you can file the PIL for the protection of environment. Anytime, anywhere you can file this PIL, that is public interest litigation. Then there are several NGOs in the country, such as Worldwide WWFI. This one, see, very first we have discussed this Worldwide Fund for Nature, India. Worldwide Fund, Nature India. Then this Bombay Natural History Society, which take these matters to court in the interest of conservation. You can contact these NGOs. If you are facing any problem, then you can also contact these NGOs. Anyone can request them to help in such matters. It is not like who you are or for whom you are working. You can respect them, you can request them to help in such matters. And there are also legal expert such as MC Mehta. He is a legal expert related with the environment who have successfully fought cases in the courts to support the environmental causes, many environmental causes, to support different types of environmental causes. Mr. Mehta, he fought very successfully in the courts. He is a well-known advocate. A related issue is the fact that there are several irregular practices for which a bribe to an unscrupulous official is used to cover up an offense. Means sometimes क्या होता है कि these laws, if it is broken by someone, so many officials they used to take the bribe from the people, and they hide all these activities and all these different types of uh, we can say the guilt. They can hide by taking the bribe from the guilty person. So this many times this happens in the forest department, but not every time, but many times it happens. So thus the general public must act as a watch dog, not only to inform concerned authorities but also to see that actions are taken against the offender. Means if we are informing to the concerned authorities, means it's not like that your duty is over now, but we also have to see that whether the action has taken or not against that offenders. So these are the roles of individuals that we can perform to conserve the forest and to protect our forest. Okay, so this is all about the Wildlife Protection Act and the Forest Conservation Act. If you are having any doubt, girls, you can ask. And one more thing, if you as a citizen come across anyone like felling trees, then encroaching on the forest land, the dumping garbage, then cutting green woods, lighting a fire in a forest, or creating or clearing the reserve forest, then protected areas, you must report it to the forest or wildlife officer concerned. And for urgent action, what you can do, one can contact the police also, right? If you are not finding any concerned authorities or any wildlife officers, concerned officers, so for urgent action, you can also contact the police. In fact, you should file an FIR in any case, because it serves as an important proof that you have made the report, right? What is the FIR? First information registration, right? So if you have already filed the FIR, means it is the proof that you have made the report. So on that basis of FIR, that concerned officials or that concerned officers, they can take the actions against the offenders. This is what all about the Wildlife Protection Act and the Forest Conservation Act. If you are having doubts, you can ask. Any doubts, girls? No. Okay. So this is enough for today. The remaining portion of this unit, I think only one lecture will be required to get this chapter finished. I'll take it in next week. Okay.